Welcome to another 2022 Ford Maverick video. Today we're going to be covering miles per gallon versus its power specs, that's for the two engines, versus the competition. So we're going to be looking at the Ranger because I think some people are going to be cross-shopping, and of course we'll look at the Hyundai Santa Cruz. So, let's jump right in, but before jumping right in and looking at the miles per gallon of each of those vehicles versus their power specs and maybe why you should go and reserve a Ford Maverick now, I'd like to just ask that, you like and you subscribe early on. It really helps the channel out. It helps get the word out, and it helps feed a poodle. So let's put the pedal to the metal and jump right in. Now, I've been talking about this actually all the way back in March when, the Maverick was mostly just rumors based off of a commercial that was being shot in the United States. And I said, hey, the commercial is being shot in the United States. I think this is going to be offered in Canada and the US. And I started speculating what platform it could use. And I did believe it would use the Bronco Sport, Escape, and Lincoln Corsair platform. So I don't expect everyone to watch all my videos from beginning to end, but I did cover this back then. I was saying that, if it was, and I was almost certain it would go with the Bronco Sport platform. Bronco Sport's pretty squared off and boxy, a bit like the Maverick, and I was expecting the 2-liter turbo power miles per gallon and power to be very similar in the Bronco Sport and Escape to that of the Maverick. Now, of course, the Escape is cut in a certain way that it definitely has a little less aerodynamic drag, so a little bit better for fuel economy, which we've seen so far. But I speculated that we'd get that platform, and I also speculated that would get very similar miles per gallon. But let's talk about those miles per gallon right now. So if you're looking at the hybrid Maverick, that's the one that comes only in front wheel drive, can tow 2,000 pounds, no more. So there's no situation in which you can pull more than 2,000 pounds safely with the Maverick. And now that's not because of the engine lacking power. Hey, look at the Hyundai Santa Cruz. It has 191 horsepower and it's towing 5,000 pounds. It comes down to that ECVT transmission, which I've said in many videos before. I am not worried about its reliability whatsoever. This isn't your standard CVT transmission, which I personally am not a fan of CVT transmissions because of how they drive. I find they offer a lack of comfort. They're noisy and they're not reliable when towing. And sometimes they're just not reliable. Point final. So I really like the ECVT from Ford. It's very similar to Toyota Prius's ECVT. So this is a good transmission, but it's the reason we're going to be only going to be pulling 2,000 pounds from now until way into the future. They'd have to completely redesign the transmission to pull more than 2,000 pounds. But that's okay, because there's always the 2-liter option for pulling 4,000 pounds. So the Santa Cruz pulls 5,000 pounds. And before we get to comparing what the Santa Cruz offers, let's just cover what the Ford Maverick offers. So here we go. In the hybrid version, the hybrid version is going to be offering you 40 miles per gallon in the city. Now, of course, the Ford's hybrids are more fuel efficient in the city because that's where the electric motor really helps make this vehicle shine and stand out from the crowd. 40 miles per gallon in the city is incredible fuel economy. And for my Canadian viewers out there, let me tell you exactly what that is in liters per 100 kilometers. So for the Canadian viewers out there, 40 miles per gallon is 5.9 liters per 100 kilometers. So every 100 kilometers you drive, you'll use up about 5.9 liters. So that's incredible for city driving. Now, Ford has revealed that they're expecting 37 miles per gallon combined, which means I have to assume from the time of making this video that for highway driving, getting 34 miles per gallon. And, I'll just put that at the bottom for, the Canadian viewers, what 34 miles per gallon gives us exactly. Now, the weight of this Maverick. The weight of this Maverick is right around 3,700 pounds, just like the Escape. But why is the Escape a little more fuel efficient within the same format? Well, the Ford Escape will have and has less aerodynamic drag. So, it's fighting against the wind a little less than the Maverick will be because of how it's designed. But hey, I'm not going to complain. I love the look of the Maverick. And if we go to the Maverick's 2-liter turbo engine, what are we getting? Well, we're getting 250 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. Now, sorry, 277 pound-feet of torque. They've been increasing the 2-liter power over the years since 2013, and now it's up to 277 pound-feet of torque. And what exactly is that gonna get us? Well, it's gonna get us 23 miles per gallon in the city, and it's gonna get us 31 miles per gallon on the highway. And if you're a Canadian viewer, that means city driving, 10.2 liters per 100 kilometers. And on the highway, 7.58 liters used for every 100 kilometers you drive. On to some more important information. So the 2-liter turbo in the Maverick is powerful, and it's very powerful for its weight versus its power. And we'll compare that with a Ranger, which I think people will cross shop, as well as the Hyundai Santa Cruz. But you're getting 26 miles per gallon combined. Now, the 2-liter turbo mile per gallon combined rating, as well as city and highway driving, is yet to be confirmed. I'm basing my numbers off of 2 factors. I'm basing my numbers off of a real-world witness of 26.6 miles per gallon by the YouTuber InterUnet Automotive. So he took a little photo of that, and it showed 26.6 miles per gallon. We do have to keep in mind, though, that we don't know how that Maverick was driven. For example, in September, early September, the 14th, I'm going to be going to a test track, and I'm going to be driving a Maverick, and it's on a test track. So you accelerate really hard, you brake really hard, and you accelerate again. So what that dash is going to say is going to be nowhere near the reality of what people can get in real life. It's going to be not very good fuel economy compared to what you can get in real life with the Maverick. So we have to keep that in mind, because that's an important factor. So we can't solely rely on this 26.6 mile per gallon photo taken by that YouTuber. But what we can do is look at the Escape's mile per gallon EPA, officially rated EPA sheet. And what is the Escape giving us for miles per gallon? Let's look at that right now. So to the right of me, I'll just put that official EPA hybrid Escape and 2-liter turbo EPA mile per gallon averages to the right of me. Now the Maverick is going to take just a little bit more gas, so I think together we can assume that the Maverick's going to have about a 26 mile per gallon combined rating, which is fantastic. So that'll mean 23 in the city, 31 in the highway, for a combined 26. Now if we compare that to the Santa Cruz, the Santa Cruz has a 2.5 liter no turbo, so a naturally aspirated engine with 190 horsepower and 180 pound-feet of torque. So that's looking similar to the hybrid engine, but from the Ford Maverick, but nowhere near the same type of fuel economy, and not even all that close to the fuel economy of the 2-liter turbo, or the estimated or guesstimated, an educated guess at the 2-liter turbo on the Maverick, because the Hyundai Santa Cruz is getting 23 miles per gallon combined. So that means we've got a difference here. Mind you, it does tow 5,000 pounds. And the Ford Maverick will pull 4,000 pounds if you take the 2-liter turbo option, all-wheel drive. Now, of course, this is going to raise the price on any model you're looking at, but then it's going to pull 4,000 pounds once you've also taken the 4K tow package. So I'm not going to talk about price. I leave that for my build and price videos. But, you are getting a lot more power out of the 2-liter turbo from the Ford Maverick. So really, Ford offers different strokes for different folks. And even if you go with the ultra powerful option, because you're getting 250 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque out of that 2-liter turbo out of the Ford Maverick, which should weigh about 3,700 pounds. Now, if you compare that to the Ford Ranger, for people that are going to be cross-shopping, the Ford Ranger weighs about 4,400 pounds, so 700 pounds more weight. Does it offer more power? Yeah, somewhat. 270 horsepower out of that 2.3 liter engine in the Ford Ranger. And other than the 270 horsepower, you're also getting 310 pound-feet of torque. Now, that is a very tunable engine with a little reprogrammer, chipping it, programming it, but that's what you get from factory. And that means you're getting 10.7 liters per 100 kilometers. So your average, your combined is 22 miles per gallon. So that's a difference. There's a percentage difference in power right there. That's actually considerable. You're looking at the Maverick 2-liter turbo being 16% more fuel efficient than the Ford Ranger and weighing 700 pounds less. So what should that give us according to Motor Biscuit for acceleration on the 2-liter turbo? Well, we're probably going to be looking at about a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 6.95 seconds. But really, who's going to be buying a Maverick to race this? I think 0 to 60 times are becoming less and less important for certain models like the Maverick. And what's becoming more important is how much payload can it take, which in the Ford Maverick's case is actually really impressive. The Ford Maverick has a payload rating. That means weight on truck. So the added weight you can add onto the truck is 1,500 pounds. Now, of course, that includes all passengers, anything that's in your box, and the weight that's going to be transferred from your trailer. Or in the case of the 2-liter turbo, maybe you're going to have, a little camper that's being pulled behind it. So keep that in mind. You're getting, some people will still really want the Hyundai Santa Cruz. For me, I really feel that the Maverick is a solid choice because you can either go with more power than the Hyundai Santa Cruz and better fuel economy by going with the 2-liter turbo, or you can just blow it out of the water with miles per gallon rating and go with that hybrid. And the hybrid, usually you pay more for a hybrid option. Most manufacturers, if you want to go hybrid, traditionally have always charged more. And with the Ford Maverick, it's the standard model. There's no additional charge. So I think that's amazing on Ford's part. I applaud them on that. Something I would like to see out of Ford though, from my experiences with the Bronco, the Bronco had 195,000 reservations, about 125,000 got converted to orders. What does that mean? It means they lost about 36%, and it means they converted about 64%. Now, there's no guarantee that these numbers will follow with the Maverick, but if they do, there's just one thing I hope Ford does, and that's that they remove the option to reserve online once they see that they've hit the yearly capacity, build capacity. Because what could have helped with the Bronco is if clients would have been forced to go to their dealer sooner because you couldn't reserve online. Well, the dealer themselves could have said, hey, you know what? We're over our allotments for the year. You're going to get a 2022 Bronco. And I think the more information we have, the happier we are, the better served we are. And really, it's important to, have expectations be close to reality. So far, what's great, the Maverick continues to be scheduled to start getting deliveries in September from what I can see. Well, builds in September for clients, so some people should be seeing some as early as September, and it looks like the whole build process is going, a-okay, that we're full speed ahead. So that's exciting news. Now, I hope this video has been helpful. You could be really helpful by throwing into the comments section what you've ordered and if you've gotten a build date. Now, I ordered Marie's Maverick back in around July 20th. I still don't have a build date. I still don't have a VIN number. Now, we did go with the hybrid. I'm wondering how many other people who ordered in late July or early August who've ordered a hybrid who have yet to receive a VIN number. I think the hybrid version is going to be really popular. No confirmed numbers of, out of the 100,000 reservations that have been placed so far, we don't know how many will be converted to orders, but I did talk a little Bronco talk to maybe give us an idea of how many will be converted. So I'm thinking maybe we should be around the 55 to 70% range that will get converted. And I'm wondering how many of those are hybrids and if this will, if they'll have too much demand for hybrids. Keep in mind those batteries. There has been in the comment section some complaints that, this is being built. It's being assembled in Mexico, to be precise. The parts come from all over. If I remember correctly, the battery comes from the United States. The 2-liter turbo engine comes from Cleveland, Ohio. So you are getting parts from all over, even here in Canada on the Bronco. A lot of the engineering for, some of the engineering for parts of the Bronco were being, engineers were being paid here, designing it here, setting everything up, making essentially, you could say, the molds, and then the molds get shipped off to Mexico just for, fabrication. So, high paying jobs here. I think open trade between, Canada, the US, and Mexico is good for everybody. I don't think that, for me, I'm not gonna not get a Maverick just because it's not assembled in the States and then choose to get a Santa Cruz. And I'm also not gonna get a Santa Cruz because it can tow an extra 1,000 pounds. Now I'd be curious, comment section, do your thing. Let me know if I missed something, and also let me know if you're gonna go with the Santa Cruz because of the 1,000 pounds of extra towing. But keep in mind, you're gonna be pulling 5,000 pounds with 190 horsepower, and more importantly, 180 pound-feet of torque. And that's a naturally aspirated motor. So that torque is gonna be at high RPM. So you're gonna have to work that vehicle real hard in the hills to get your 5,000 pounds up a hill. Also keep in mind, if you go with a 2-liter turbo from Ford, it's rated for 4,000 pounds if you get the 4K towing. And you have 277 pound-feet of torque, available at 3,000 RPM. So that's the magic of the EcoBoost engines at Ford. You're getting a ton of torque, pound-feet of torque, at low revolutions per minute of the engine. So in other words, hills are a breeze. You don't go up hills thinking this is gonna be, the last hill your engine can handle before it blows. You go up hills with relative ease, so a little less noise from the engine inside the cabin, and just a more agreeable drive, more comfort. Now, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have questions, shoot them away in the comments section. And if this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out, it helps get the word out, and of course, it helps feed that poodle. Take care, and I wish you all more cars and more power. And I hope that, you all get to put the pedal to the metal. I know I did yesterday because, I've got, you could say I'm invested in this. I've got blood, sweat, and tears because I had to pick up my Maverick's Marie's Maverick doesn't have a build date even yet. And, I'm in Canada, so end of season for convertibles. I have to sell my Mustang GT convertible, which Marie has been driving for the last 3 or so months. If I don't sell it now, its value is going to drop right down and it's going to be unsellable. So I got to sell it when I can sell it, make the money when I can. So I flipped that Mustang and I'll be making money on it from when I bought it in 2020, sorry. So I've done 2 summers with it. It's time to let it go, and I've picked up a 2007 Ford Escape. So the blood will probably be from switching a part or two, and the sweat and the tears are from letting go of my Mustang GT. That vehicle has been incredible comfort. I just did 4 hours of road yesterday of highway city driving. Incredible machine, amazing comfort. I'm not worried at all about the Maverick's comfort level on a side note, because the Escape, when I test drove Escape Hybrid, I loved how it drove. I loved the sound of that. Well, I didn't mind at all the sound of the engine. There was no issues. I love the sound of my Mustang GT. So hence the tears for having to let that go. But hey, I've got a Bronco on the way and I've got a Maverick on the way. So stay tuned for, real life coverage of those vehicles and really real life impressions over everything. Off-road, on-road, highway, general comfort. I'll do some long trips to talk about seat comfort because that's important to so many of us. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching and have a great week.